faces here, and I'm just in awe. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Admiral Cottrell, Broadhurst, family, friends from near and far. I appreciate the time, energy, and effort and sacrifice you've made to be here today to help me and my family celebrate what these last 36 years of my life have been. I want to share with you what I feel were some key decision points, much like what Admiral Cottrell was saying of the key things that made it a point of where we are today. Number one, I grew up in a Christian home, the youngest of 5 children. My loving parents, Don and N. Kuhl, that loved God and taught us that God was real, and trusting Him and the teachings of the Bible were the foundation to life success. Not that it would be without hardship, the foundation. But I had to make that faith my own, and I did. With help from my parents, mentors, leaders, pastors, choir directors, and friends from church, several which are here today, from long back, way back then. They knew me as Robbie back then. So if anybody calls me Robbie, you know they're from my before college. They all encouraged and supported me, making Christ the Lord of my life and the foundation of standards to guide and direct every aspect. Number 2, carefully choose where and who you spend your time with. If you hang out with 4 idiots, you will soon become the 5th. If you hang out with 4 goal-oriented, hardworking people that respect and care for others, you will become the 5th, one like that. Of those associations, there's none more important than if you choose to get married, who your spouse is. I met my beautiful wife Hester in college prior to joining the Coast Guard. And yes, she did run away the next day after seeing me. But we worked it out. I was fortunate that I didn't meet her sooner, as her friend told her. I had a lot of growing up to do. My mom always gave Hester credit for me actually finished college the first time that I went through a degree, and she was right. Having a spouse to work together towards common goals is critical for your success. Who you spend your time with matters. Point number 3, dream big. Set goals and take the initiative to do great things. But be content where you are. Look for opportunities that identify what it will take to meet your goals. Set your goals, make a plan, but always remember that in order to earn those opportunities, you have to be meeting the demands and the needs of where you are right now. My dream as a child was to be an astronaut. I grew up watching the space race, not SpaceX, not the shuttle, but the Apollo missions. You'll read about in the history books. One of my earliest memories was watching Neil Armstrong step off the lunar lander onto the moon. Yes, that was on June 20th, 1969, early in the 1900s. But my vision disqualified me, as Admiral Cottrell noted at things. It was not good. So being a pilot, being an astronaut, that wasn't going to work. But through the Coast Guard and being a PA, I've been able to do more aviation than I ever imagined. And it's been awesome. As you saw coming in here today, that was a dream come true. That for years I've been doing it, and the command pulled it off. XO did a fantastic job just doing everything. Thank you. Growing up in South Florida, I was able to enjoy the ocean and many water sports, scuba diving, water skiing, much thanks to Steve, making the boat in his backyard. His parents were making a hoist on poles, like what was going on. But we did that, and we did all kinds of things that just really were amazing and a lot of fun. When Hester agreed to marry me, she did make me promise to move 3 times. Her family grew up traveling the world. Trinidad and Tobago, where she was born, Belgium, Iran, New Jersey, Michigan. I grew up in the same house that my family lived in since I was born. So when we got married, we got move number 1 done right away. We moved from Massachusetts to Colorado. We had never been there before. But Colorado does have great license plates. If you haven't seen them, they're the green, they're the white mountains. That was one of the things. Yeah, okay, the mountains were the real draw, but yes, they had good license plates. The amazing mountains of Colorado was something that this poor boy had seen very little of. 2 years later, joining the military seemed like a way we could afford to have a family and get someone else to pay for all those moves that I had promised. Joining the Coast Guard would also get me back to the ocean, which I was missing being in Colorado. I joined the Coast Guard in 1989 and began this adventure. I had no idea how amazing it would be. Signed up for the first 4 years and see where it goes from there. I started off as the non-rate in Baltimore, trained as a BM, driving boats, and all the things that worked on the deck. But driving boats was a blast, and I loved it, as I did with Rick on the motor light boats, the old 44, the ones that are all in museums now. Those are the ones that I got my coxswain qualifications on, and Rick did. But I was not a good painter, and that did not go over well, many times, as you imagine. So I heard about the PA program, but you had to be an HS at that time. It's now open to all rates, but back then, way back then, it was you had to be an HS. So I put in to change rates. It took 2 years for me to get to school, go to school, and there, become a foreman. And we did it. In medical, I found a field that I could thrive in. I loved helping others, and I was fascinated at how God created the human body and how it worked. It's just absolutely amazing. When I graduated from HS school, I originally had orders at Portsmouth. That was okay, but as being the class leader, I was asked, is there anything else? And they told me that Air Station Barinka was going to be there. And they said, why don't you put your name in the list? We'll see how it turns out. There were about 5 or 6 that put their name in the list. I'd been class leader through the whole class, through the section, and sure enough, the next morning, they put the name out of the hat. BM3, cool, congratulations, you're going to Barinka. I think there was only one name in that hat. I was selected for a few reasons. I'd been the class leader and earned their respect. I was top of the class academically. A couple people will differ with that. And I asked, what can I do? Will this work out? I was going to be content going to Portsmouth, but see what your options are. When I was offered Puerto Rico, I knew where Puerto Rico was, and it was in the tropics, but I remember calling Hester and saying, where is it? I went there, I knew it was good. And should we go there? And her answer was absolutely yes. Warm tropics? Absolutely. We're going. Puerto Rico is amazing. We kicked off our tropical adventures. Jenna, our 3rd child, was born there. Jim Markham was the PA at the clinic. Seeing what PAs did and how they were used motivated me even more to pursue this career. So much so that I knew I needed to beef up my PA application. I put 3 applications. At that time I signed up to take a chemistry class in Spanish. Did I speak Spanish? Nope. But the textbook was going to be in English, so I had a chance. Fortunately, we got early orders, got transferred to Corpus Christi, and started taking classes at the community college there. Took the chemistry, anatomy, and physiology. And I worked hard and opened up a clinic there, opened up the new sick bay, the start of another trend that came along. In addition to night classes I was taking, what I really needed was a class that was only offered during the workday, middle of the day. So I made a plan, presented it to the command, told them what the options were and what I could do to make up for that, and they approved it. Next year I was finally selected for PA school. It turns out that applying to PA school was the easy part. Getting through school took a lot of work. And several PAs, IPAD graduates, and Coast Guard PAs are here today. Good to see you all. Thank you. Point number 4, make your boss, the fan of the Coast Guard, look good. Don't worry about who gets the credit. Find out what the goals are and how do you accomplish that to make your area of responsibility what you're supposed to do better. If you're the only one if you're only doing a minimal effort, you're not going to get the opportunities for bigger and better assignments. When missions come up, your chief, your leaders are not looking for people that might get it done. They're looking for people who will succeed. Who can they count on consistently and who's interested in it? Who is asked about it? Captain Charlene, Chris, and I graduated from PA school together. I got the one for the last 2 years the Golden Urinal, but only because I was 241 on the roster. She was 242. And she was happy to let me hold it for the next few years, and I'm honored to have you continue on doing it from here. I know you're going to do great things, Captain. We graduated on September 14th, 2001, 3 days after 9/11. The world was in lockdown. The tropical storm was bearing down on Tampa. Our official ceremony never happened. Actually, on the board list over there is our program from the ceremony that never occurred. We were commissioned in the back office at MacDill Air Force Base late one night. I called up, can you do it on Monday? I said, nope, gotta get to work. So come on right now. So back office, Charlene, Esther, and our preceptor and I are standing there. I do solemnly swear. That was our commission. I'm very glad to finish out my career this way. This is much better. We're now Coast Guard officers, and we were assigned to Cape May, New Jersey. Coast Guard boot camp, a great training place, but I knew that the tropics were where I really wanted to be. So I asked, do you need somebody to go to Puerto Rico? Nope, we're good. But a few months later, I got the call. Do you still want to go? So 7 months later, we left and went to Puerto Rico. There I was blessed to meet my number one mentor, my new friend, Dr. Lago, who you heard to sing the national anthem today. He's also an amazing dancer. He gave salsa lessons. As Christmas was coming, Rob, do you think people would want to do salsa lessons? I'm like, what? And they did. Ask him about the military, America's Got Talent, was in there. We also had then Captain Charlie Ray as our CO. As everybody may know, became the Vice Commandant, fantastic leader, things, and a person that was just amazing. Him and his wife Donna were incredible to have as mentors, leaders, to see as we were going along. It was an amazing time growing professionally in medicine, knowledge and skill, and personally through the leadership displayed by these folks. This was also a time I first met our Master Chief, Scott Bigelow. We played floor hockey on Sunday nights in the base gym. Nate came along, he was 14 at the time. They're like, come on, we play. He wasn't breaking the hockey sticks like Toby Holdridge was. It was constantly going through it, but if Charlie Ray was playing, you could never rest. It was always, let's go, ladies, get going. Never take a slow shot to the corner. 3 years later, they couldn't find anyone to come to Puerto Rico, and so they asked me that time, would I extend another year? I said, sure, I'll help you out. But we knew that we loved Puerto Rico, but there's also Hawaii was opening up the next year. They didn't promise it, but it worked out, because I asked. In Hawaii, minimum effort was not an option. I was the sole medical officer for the base, 65s, C-130s, large base, very active, search and rescue going on all the time. My flight surgeon was 40 minutes away to had a whole other base that he was taking care of. He needed me to do the job. He encouraged and enabled us to take initiative. Captain Brad Beam was my CO. He encouraged us to do what needed to be done to make the base better. Another amazing leader that God put in my life. Harbors Point had C-130 cargo planes and Dolphin helos like the one you see over here. We regularly flew on medevacs across the Pacific, Midway Island, Wake Island, Christmas Atoll, Johnson Atoll, Big Island, Maui, Kauai. It was my dream assignment, taking care of the crew and saving lives while flying all over the Pacific. I'd heard that C-130 cargo planes could be set up and carry 30 plus patients, but I'd never seen it done before over there. So I asked one of the load masters if it was true. He thought it was. We looked up the configuration of manuals and dusted off a couple of crates. We pulled out the parts, pulled out the broken pieces, and replaced those, ordered those, figured out how the straps work, where the stanchions connected, and we set it all up, teaching the flight crews and the medical team how to do it. And then we went flying around, like we always could. Any kind of excuse to go for a flight, took the crew flying. Then we stowed it away just in case. A few months later, on October 15th, 2006, there was a major earthquake off the Big Island near Kona, just a few months after we had done it, prepped up. And then the question came to us, can you help us move patients from the Kona hospital to a safer place? Yes, we can. We know how to do it. While Barbers Point was certainly my aviation high, it also brought my lowest of lows. On September 4th, 2008, the 6505 crashed. It was during the training mission, pilots Don Nelson, Andy Wishmeyer, Flight Mech Josh Nichols, and Rescue Swimmer Dave Skimmer were killed that night. It was a tragic loss and certainly the longest night in my life. One that changed many lives forever that night and taught me how powerful and caring the Coast Guard family, the Coast Guard Foundation, Coast Guard Mutual Assistance, how much they are in taking care of our families in times of need. In the weeks that followed, I had the opportunity to come alongside my shipmates that were hurting. I had Coast Guard, close friends, family support me through this, and I was able to lean on God to encourage and strengthen us through it. You're not alone. It was during this assignment in Hawaii that I reached 20 years in the Coast Guard. As Esther, she was tired of moving. You know what her answer was. I had met the quota, 9 moves so far to this point. I could retire, we could settle down in one place. We thought about it, prayed about it, and not surprising, we decided that we loved the island of Hawaii and the people was amazing. But there were still more adventures the Coast Guard had to offer and that we could contribute. And that's when, overall, we ended up with 14 moves that brought us back here to Jacksonville. Hitron was the next assignment, and after Hawaii in 2010, they needed a new clinic, so we created one. We did it. I even got a chance to deploy with Hitron, Admiral Cottrell, and yes, there are a lot of stories from that deployment. And yes, we did find ice cream on Midget, on Polar Star, This deployment renewed my love for the sea and enlightened me to the hard work and dedication that our crews go through being underway for weeks and months running 24-hour operations. Perspective is a great tool to appreciate and understand what others are doing and how you can help them, knowing where they are. That's why flight surgeons fly with their crews, get out on the boats and do what we do. They were directing me, but I loved doing it, and that was absolutely a highlight of my job. I got to go on deployment because I asked. I had leaders that supported me from Hitron. I was assigned to, from Hitron, I was assigned to Iswell, Ahmed as a senior PA, doing medical planning across the country. I renewed the Coast Guard Mobile Medical Unit, trained the crews to staff it. We ended up deploying those units to Florida for hurricane responses, also in Puerto Rico after Maria hit. We got to go and help Jerry Marshbanks out as he was struggling through all of those amazing recoveries that we're going through that. We made Zika plans to protect the crews, and then my daughter calls me from Haiti. We're doing all the Zika plans, figuring out, hey Dad, yeah, I got Haiti, I got Zika. See ya, bye. That was not the call I wanted as I'm in the middle of all the planning. Thank you, John. Counter-narcotics mission, medical missions, support plans for cutters were still thing, but I still had one more deployment I wanted to do. That deployment was 4 months in the U.S.'s only heavy icebreaker, the mighty Polar Star to Antarctica. I actually wanted it so bad, I found a memo that I wrote to my CO explaining not how I wanted it, rather how it would benefit the Coast Guard to send me to Antarctica. They bought it. It worked so well that years later I got a call to do it again. A week before Christmas, I got a call from New Zealand. Do you want to come do it? And a week later, Christmas Eve, I showed up in New Zealand to join Polar Star for another trip to Antarctica. All of this planning experience set me up to help draft a proposal with Dr. Heidescheid, captain in Barbers Point, for another new clinic, this time in Hawaii. And when you help write the job description, it certainly can help you get that position when they fill it. We went back to Hawaii in 2018. So, number one, God created you in his image and he loves you. He has a purpose for your life. The Bible can give you the guidance and direction for success. It's up to you to find it. One of the best ways you can do that is to connect with a local community church and to help lead you and guide you and help you grow. Number two, choose wisely who you surround yourself with. Where are you investing your time and energy? Number three, set your goals. Surround yourself with people that will help you achieve those goals and help you achieve their goals too. There will be changes and realignments along the way as you experience and learn new things. That's part of the process. Let those around you know what your hopes and dreams are. Number four, if you only give a minimal effort, you're only going to get minimal results and be disappointed. Don't be surprised and blame others. Step up, take on hard things, take the initiative wherever you are. Do your best. The opportunities will come. Search them out. And if you really want something, write a memo. If you have to. Finally, most of all, I appreciate where you are right now. Thank those that have helped you along the way. Esther, this adventure would never happen without your love, support, and tremendous sacrifice. While I was out saving the world with the Coast Guard, Esther held down the home. She used her early childhood education degree to homeschool our 4 kids, Nate, Megan, Jenna, and Brianna, all the way through high school. I did the sciences, especially the dissection. She wasn't going to touch that part. She led vacation Bible school everywhere we went. She made meals for new moms. She organized adventures like taking the youth group to Vieques to experience the bioluminescent day. Fantastic place if you ever get the opportunity. She wasn't just along for the ride. She embraced it and made it amazing for all of us. Thank you. It was amazing to watch our children grow, to take up bold challenges that we never even dreamed of, advanced degrees in counseling, medicine, camp directors, adoption, international travel, florist. Brianna did the flowers all around here today. Dad, can I try this? Well, I wasn't really planning on it. For sure. And she did amazing. Great job. Even the kids helped out us. She's great. Nate, Charlotte, Riley, Jordan, Dakota, Crosby, Michael, James, Megan, Marcus, Michelle, Damian, Jaden, Jenna, Benjamin, Elliot, Matthias, Levi, and Brianna and Nick. You are all amazing. I thank God for putting us together as a family. Through these years, God graciously put incredible families alongside us every step of the way to help us navigate through these times. Now we have even more opportunities, thanks to the Coast Guard and a pension of 36 years, that we may someday get paid, maybe, to come alongside others in their own journey. Cool kids, in-laws, and cool kids, I love you, and I look forward to the many adventures to come. This is not an ending. This is just the beginning of a new chapter with Oma and Nova. That's why we're about the camper that's sitting up front. To all of you, thank you for being here to celebrate this day with us. Admiral Cottrell, thank you for your leadership, your friendship, and investing in us through all these years. Captain Broadhurst, thank you for allowing me to make this a very special day for you and my family. Lieutenant Hubner, my project officer. Great job as my project officer, helped me put on all these crazy ideas and places and things. Thank you. You were created in the image of God. He has a plan for you. The situations you face, the choices you make matter. They form your character, but don't let it hold you back. Embrace it. Set your goals and let people know what your dreams are. Make wherever you are a better place for you and those around you, and it will make a difference.